After a challenging few days, the Reds responded with a gritty away win in Europe in midweek. Today, it is back to league business and a return to Anfield. Can the mini revival in results continue? It is Liverpool versus Brighton. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Steve Hunter and John Aldridge will bring you audio commentary of all the action. Welcome along to Anfield and to Matchday Live. Phil Thompson and Ray Houghton are poised pitchside to offer their insight this afternoon. Plenty from the boys across the course of the show. But first, let's get the details of Liverpool's starting lineup from our man, Peter McDowell.
Well, Arne Slot admitting already, Mark, that the 3 occasions that they've had 3 games in the space of 7 days is starting to take its toll. There is no Wataru Endo involved in the squad today. Likelihood that he'll be out for a couple of weeks. Similar situation with Cody Gakpo. And Alexander Isak picked up a knock in Milan midweek as well. So Isak on the bench today. It shows 2 changes, that Liverpool team from midweek. Florian Wirtz comes in, as does Milos Kerkez. Mo Salah is on the bench for Liverpool today. Let me confirm the 11 in full for you then. It's Alisson as ever in goal, Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, who makes his 250th Premier League appearance for Liverpool today, Konate, Kerkez, who makes his 17th start of the season, Florian Wirtz, as mentioned, who comes in, Dominic Szoboszlai, who's aiming to get 3 goals on the bounce for the first time in his professional career. His goal at the San Siro probably felt like the most important of the season so far, hoping to continue on that vein. Alexis McAllister, big game for him, of course, today against the club where he made his name. 112 games, 16 goals, and just short of 100 games in the blue and white of them. Finished top scorer for them in the 22-23 season as well. Curtis Jones, big day for him also. 200th Liverpool game for him today. And Ekitike, the Liverpool top scorer, 80 scored in total this season. He carries the goal burden. We haven't scored a goal, by the way, in the first half of the last 5 Premier League games. It's something else that Arne Slot has spoken about in terms of putting added pressure on Liverpool in the performances so far this season. And Gravenberch completes the 11. So 2 goalkeepers on the bench again. Mo Salah amongst the subs, of course, who scored a cracker here to win the game last season. Also, when they met in May, he was named captain in the Premier League for the first time on game 400 in Liverpool colours. And of course, the last we'll see him until potentially mid-January now, with the AFCON about to get underway as well. Chiesa, Robertson, fond memories of this opposition, got his first Liverpool goal against them, and then the youth amongst that Liverpool squad as well. Calvin Ramsey added to the squad, Rio Ngamoa, and young centre-back Welity Lucky as well. Looking to avoid an uncomfortable record, Liverpool today. It's been 8 years since we've waited 3 games to see a Liverpool win. It's a record that really needs to be put to bed today.
Thank you, Pete. Yeah, we'll get into that team in just a second. But first, let's just remind you of the standings in the Premier League going into this 3 p.m. kickoff. Both teams level on points from the opening 15 games. It underlines the importance of getting a positive result this afternoon. Gentlemen, good to see you as we stand pitchside with all the toe-tapping Christmas specials ringing around us. That'll be a theme through the course of the afternoon. Good to be back to Anfield on the back of a win, Ray, and great to see the attitude, application, togetherness in midweek, wasn't it? Because it was a time when there's so much talk around the football club, but it showed how much better we are when we remain united and focused.
Yeah, it's a decent little run the boys are on at the moment. We aren't winning every game, but they are producing some sterling football at the moment. I thought the win on Tuesday against Inter Milan was very good. Got to say, I thought we made them look really ordinary. I was expecting a lot more from Inter Milan, but I didn't think they were particularly that good. Were they poor? Was it the lads that done enough to show the flaws in their 11 that they played that evening? But overall, you come away with a good win, put in a healthy position as far as the league's concerned. And I think they'll be generally pleased. I was surprised that wasn't given, that goal, I've got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know what handball is anymore. I really don't know, and I don't think most people know what handball is. It sort of came off his arm, but I don't think there was any intent from it. The referee went to have a look at it and eventually said it wasn't good.
The thing about it was, when you heard ex-officials in this country talking on the TV, said that would have been given in this country, and you're going, well, if it would be given in this country, why is it not given in European competition? So it seems strange is that they have different laws, if you want, but are we at that point in the game?
Well, that's it, different interpretations of
Exactly.
certain situations depending on what competition you're playing in, which is an issue. And we'll probably see that in the World Cup next year as well. There'll be certain things which wouldn't happen in the Premier League, which will happen in those international games. In terms of the result, we get the win via the penalty, but I thought some people were a bit sort of, not downbeat, but it wasn't that spectacular. I thought it was a really good away European performance, Phil.
But Mark, I just seen obviously when you said it was a gritty performance, I thought it was a real, well-managed performance. People forget that this was Inter Milan. Probably this was, certainly for the English sides, bar Man City and Real Madrid, probably the biggest European game that you could witness. So it was against a very good Inter Milan side at this moment in time, and we made them look ordinary. Not that they were poor. We played very well, and I loved how we managed it. There wasn't many chances in the first half. Away from home, that's not a problem in my mind. And the second half, I felt like we controlled the game for most of the game and thoroughly deserved the victory. The better chances were ours. They had one header by Martinez, that was it. And I just thought it was a great performance, which didn't get the credit, certainly in a lot of the media, that it should have done.
I think the only reason for that was because it wasn't eye-catching. I think that was one of the reasons, but I agree with Phil. I thought it was a really good away performance. You've got to remember, you're going away from home. You've not had a great run recently. You've had some different results, particularly in the Champions League, losing to PSV. But to respond in the manner that they did in that game against the team that went to the final last season, I know they were well beaten by PSV.
Yeah, gloss over that part of it.
Yeah, gloss over that. You still got to play well to get to the final. And, look at their league form this season's been good. And Liverpool went there and controlled the game. I never felt at any stage during the course of the 90 minutes that Liverpool were under pressure. Defensively, I thought they looked nice and strong. Goalkeeper oozed that confidence to the rest of the side. The midfielders worked in harmony. They passed the ball well. I think if they needed to, they could have upped it if they really wanted to create more chances. But in a away performance, I thought it was very good.
That's it. Off the back of the disappointment of the late goal at Ellen Road, on top of that, having lost a few players, being without a few players, having played a different system, kept a clean sheet, I thought it was a great job all round. On that, though, there was a different system. What did you make of the way they deployed it and what they might do today, Tomo?
I think with it going this sort of diamond shape in the midfield, I think it's just to strengthen the midfield to protect the defence. And it certainly worked against Inter Milan. The Leeds game we still should have won. And everybody goes on, because you lose a late goal, it's like a defeat, not even that we got a point out of it. But I looked at this system and I've gone, yeah, this has given us a bit more solidity. And I thought it worked very, very well. And people forget how the boss, he went for the win by changing Joe Gomez and bringing on Wirtz. He's not looked to consolidate and go right. He sensed that the game was there for the taking. Connor had a great chance to score himself, but Wirtz has had a great cameo. And I just thought everything about it was perfect. So the system was, for me, it gave the defence a help. But it also, we attacked with better consistency.
I like it sometimes when you play with two strikers. I don't think, that if you've got two top goal scorers, why not play them on occasions? Give them that opportunity, to play off of each other. One likes to run in behind, one likes to come short. That was how it used to be many, many years ago. That's how strikers used to play. But I think from midfielders, if you've got two players like that, it gives you different options when you're on the ball. I can go short, give me it back, and then I'm looking for the runner in behind. So I think it really helps the midfield players. I think the diamond worked against the opposition that we're playing with, but it now gives the manager variety when he's picking his side for the future, that he can play with two out-and-out strikers, and he knows that it can work. There's plenty of work on there.
Do you see it as a diamond again today, and Wirtz playing sort of off Ekitike almost?
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing the first 15 minutes, because that's when you'll know exactly what the manager and the formation that he's trying to employ for the game today. But he will watch Brighton. He will know what Brighton's about. I mean, I remember being here for Brighton last season, and Brighton were the better team for long spells. And then there was one challenge by Dominic Szoboszlai. The whole crowd erupted, and from that moment on, we took over the game. We bossed the rest of that match, won the game with 2 goals. I think it was Cody and Mo scored the goals in the game. And until that moment, the way that Brighton played, there was neat and tidy, passed it well, looked threatening. But as soon as we won the first challenge, and that's what we're going to have to do today with them. So maybe that midfield that he's selected today, it's got energy, it's got players that can go in and win tackles, you can break quickly from that area of the field, and then you've got someone like Wirtz, who the last few games he's done well. West Ham, I thought he was very good. Cameo against Inter Milan, came on and changed the game in many respects. So it's up to him now to get on the ball and start making the little through balls, because you've got runners. Curtis can run. Curtis can do boxy-box. Dominic Szoboszlai can do boxy-box. So we've got people that can run in behind, and we've got to utilise their pace as well.
Seeing Ray didn't answer me, do you think it's a diamond today or not?
I don't know, actually, that's the answer, I don't know.
It's a strange formation, isn't it? Because you're looking at, say, where's Dominic going to play? Where then will be Wirtz play? Could they have sort of just Ekitike up front and then Dominic just dropping in either side and Wirtz to cause them problems? I will be looking at it first. That's maybe not answering your question, because I don't know where those players are going to actually play today, which at times you've got to be trying. We've struggled against 3 at the back, 5 at the back. But today these are playing 4. So it's going to be interesting to see what the boss plays today.
If we don't know, Fabian Hertzler doesn't know for certain. And we've got players in that midfield who can be versatile. His movement is very good. We've seen that. Curtis Jones the last couple of games has shown what he can do in there, looking after the ball, being available for a pass at all times, and moving in different positions. And you'll need that from him today in the centre of the park.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and he's got, when he passes, I like it when he passes the ball forward. But we might not have here with, you know, when you look at how Liverpool have predominantly played since Arne's come in, they like to play with 2 really wide players, or they like to play with 2 really wide players, whether it was Diaz, whether it was Gakpo, whether it was Salah, but in real width. Whereas when you look at the 5 that's in there, I would say none of them are really wide players. You know, Dominic doesn't want to play on the right-hand side, and I would say that Wirtz doesn't want to play wide on the left. They're going to play narrow, so the 2 fullbacks, Kirkis and Gomez, are going to have to be the options, the outballs in the wide areas for Liverpool. But what they will do, they'll try and control that central area with little 1-2s and try to get in and around the back line of Brighton. I think it'll pose more questions to Brighton, because Brighton would probably have thought Liverpool play with real width, and they know how to play against that. Well, this is going to be a change for it.
If you're playing in there, does it depend on movement more than anything else, and then work rate? You have to be able to cover the ground.
Curtis Jones has been our best player against Leeds and against Inter Milan. I thought he was fantastic. There was one clip what we just seen there, which was like halfway in our own half, and Curtis got away with it, turned, and that worries me at times. But he's got that out of his game. What Curtis is doing those things in the right areas, just over the halfway line, in their half. And he's got a great getting the ball, turning quickly, and you're beating the press. But he's seeing the passes. We've seen a couple of passes there which have cut 3 and 4 players out of the opposition. That's playing with confidence. That's somebody in their own mind is, I deserve to be in this team because I'm playing well. And that's why he's in again today. He's got to continue that. But doing that, close control, turning people in the right areas.
The midfield's got to work today, but we also need is forwards who can take chances when they come along. We saw in the game at Ellen Road what Hugo Ekitike can bring at the top end of the field, and what he has brought, by and large, since he joined the football club.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. I like him a lot. I think he's got a terrific attitude to the game, and as you see there, that was a good finish. You know, he skipped away from the defender quite comfortably, and then he didn't panic. You know, he just waited for the goalkeeper. The keeper's
give it the eyes, didn't
he fainted to put it in one corner and put it in the opposite one. And this is what strikers want: early balls into the box, in behind the last defender. And the goalkeeper doesn't know where to come or not. You can see the goalkeeper maybe should have got there a little bit earlier, but.
Is that the type of goal we need to score more of?
I totally agree. We don't see too many of them. Sort of somebody coming across defenders and getting there and getting little sort of tap-ins. That's the thing which has been frustrating in the last couple of months. Teams don't have to work hard to score against us. And it gets me I'm going, why do we have to work so hard to score goals all the time? And yet we're gifting opposition them. That's not gifted, by the way, because that is bravery. It's a great ball by Connor, but you see where he's diving in, Ekitike there, and that is a great goal. But I quite agree with it. We need more of them in the middle of the goal, just getting there, nicking balls in. just having to work so hard to score.
The run of the strike is dependent on the ball that's delivered. You know, if you're waiting and you're not expecting the cross, and I think that's what happens sometimes with us on the wide areas. We look and then we turn back, and the striker's made his run, and then he's got to come back out again. And then when the ball's come in, he's not ready for it. Whereas that, perfect ball, absolutely brilliant ball from corner into a great position, and then you can see he's on top of it to finish it off.
But it's the famous old ball, isn't it? Like Steven Gerrard, Trent Alexander-Arnold, that ball being laid back and whipping it in, because attackers are all moving in the right direction. Defenders are static. They don't get a chance to sort of get their positions. We don't see it too often. We take the option there, around the corner, edge of the box, in great positions. When it's rolled back to whip it in, we've got so much to then, going back to Canate, going back to Virgil, and listen, put the ball in the box early, because you've also got defenders who panic and make mistakes, and it falls for you. We don't do enough of that.
You could see the seed of doubt when the ball played in from the goalkeeper, thinking, well, to have to come for it, and then the defender's caught out of position because he's not anticipated where the cross is going. So I thought all round, early cross into a brilliant area, and there's your striker in the right position to finish it off. Great finish from him.
Yeah, they don't call it the corridor of uncertainty for nothing. OK, we can hear from Arne Slot now. The boss has been reflecting on the recent upturn in results, with 2 wins and 2 draws in the last 4 games.
Apart from being unbeaten, I think we've shown that have been a team in the last 4 games that were indeed difficult to beat, that was difficult to create chances against us. Team worked really hard, put a lot of effort in. Have been again a bit unlucky in the results, but showed great resilience. 4 games in 10 days with not a lot of players available is I think a compliment to the players that were available. How they managed to get, first of all, some results, and second of all, the work rate they've put in.
You obviously said on Tuesday you only had 13 outfield players. I think you've also got a few injuries at the moment. Are you a bit concerned in terms of the squad depth going into the next few weeks, and is that maybe something you'd like to address in January?
No, I think it's helpful that in the upcoming weeks we don't play as many games as we've did till now. I think I wonder if there have been more teams that have played 3 games in 7 days this season, and I think we had to do it 3 times. Already this season. What can I say about this? I'm almost happy that we're out of the League Cup, because if we had to play with 13 outfield players available with any Premier League experience, because we have more available, of course, but not players that have Premier League experience, and we had to go Arsenal away on Tuesday again after already so many games played, that maybe, I don't know, people can understand a little bit better why I made that lineup against Palace, which wasn't good for me, but I did another decision I've made for the team, because losing a game of football is never a good idea, and that is what happened when we were not in the best run of form. But sometimes players need rest as well, so look at Dominic, look at Virgil, look at Ibu, look at Ryan. They've played so many minutes because other ones weren't available. So it's good for them that we go now to a run of games where there's 1 week rest in between, and players will come back from injuries, and when they are back from injuries there's more to choose from as well.
You've also got 2 weeks in a row now without a midweek fixture. How beneficial will it be to get players on the training ground? You haven't really had that basically since pre-season now.
Yeah. No, that's definitely beneficial, because training time helps to get connection going, although playing time helps with this as well. But it's also safe to say that some of these players have played so many minutes that I don't think my performance staff will tell me, okay, let's go out in the upcoming 2 weeks and train twice a day. I don't think that's what they're gonna advise me. So yes, there will be more playing time, so there's more time to prepare for a game. Because that's also the difference between us and Brighton. I think they've had 5 or 6 days to come up with a game plan, train this, optimize their game plan, and it's the first time after the Inter game we have a session today. So But yeah, that's also, if you play in Europe, this the last thing you should complain about, because this is what we want. But it is a reality for us in the last months, indeed.
Well, if we throw up the results from last month and this, it paints the picture of what Liverpool have had to go through, are getting through at the moment after those 3 straight losses. Now 4 games without a defeat. And this is something, Tom, that I spoke to Jan about at the end of the game at Ellen Road last week. I just wondered if maybe sometimes we fall into a trap of thinking, oh, we have to be like last year all of a sudden straight away. We have to win every game off the back of a slump. But actually, where we're at just now, ending a run of defeats, not losing for a few games, is a step forward. Not quite as big a step as we want to take, but it has been a move in the right direction.
Mark, it doesn't matter whether it's present day or back in different eras. Going on small runs like this, you start a little bit of momentum. Not to get too carried away, because that's how you stay humble. And I just feel like this, even after the first 2 games, we had a win, we had a draw against Sunderland. We were saying here on that night, it's 2 games without out defeat, and so it helps, particularly what we've gone through. The Premier League has been like that this year, whereas all teams, and ourselves included, everything is so different now. So we have to hang in there. We have to do things right, as we've just seen by the league table. Sunderland above us, Brighton above us. It's just one of those. After Christmas, we will see the best of this team. And I just think with results like this, that's why today's another important one in its own right. And we have to just, to me, it's having the attitude right, treating them as a big game with every game that comes along. And I think we'll be all right. I've seen shoots of confidence coming through in the side.
We've spoken in recent months about the issue of conceding goals, but actually it's been a longer term problem. It's 48 goals conceded in 35 Premier League games across the calendar year up until this point. Only twice have we gone beyond 50 goals in the calendar year in the Premier League era. The fact that we had a clean sheet in midweek, the fact that wasn't in the Premier League, the fact we had a clean sheet at West Ham, the fact that we gave up less chances at Leeds, less chances against Sunderland, is a step forward in what we had to try and do. We had to be better defensively. That was something that was trying to undermine the quality of the team.
What we also must realise is the changing around of the back 4. You know, it's different players virtually every game. There's no solidity there. There's no group that's been there game after game after game after game. The manager's been changed around due to injuries. You know, some players not playing as well as others. He's had to move people around. So you can understand why there's been a drop-off when it comes to the goals conceded. But just going back to what Phil was saying, when you lose 3 in a row, he knows as a player and as a coach and a manager, you're coming in and you're trying to get the players up. The players are low, their confidence is low. Once you start picking up results, that job's much easier now. There's a lot more smiling around the training ground. People are happier, they're coming in now. There's more life about training. Everyone wants to be in the starting 11, whereas when you lose and you can see people going, oh, I'm not too sure about this, what's going on, what are we doing different, what's going wrong? They're trying to find answers, whereas now they can see a plan, they can see where they are, they can see progress, they can see the confidence coming back, and they know they're more than good enough, because they proved it last season, that this group can go on a run and start winning matches, and start picking up the 3 points and getting them higher up the league.
We look at the schedule ahead of the team in the coming weeks. What we have got is a couple of free midweeks, which has been a real rarity for Arne Slot. He's spoken about that issue in his media conference. Pete's highlighted the fact, without quite a few players there, that the bench is a little bit threadbare. Yeah. How useful could this next couple of weeks and having those extra days to let people recover, but also to work on a few things, be for him?
Well, it is. It's not just work on a few things. You can give the players rest, because playing these games, travelling abroad, is always hard. So to give them a couple of days off to recuperate, not to come in and listen to the same voices all the time, and right, we've got to do this in training, we've got to do that in training. It is so helpful. You come back in and you're rejuvenated. You feel a little bit better. You're coming back in, you see the lads, oh, it's great, you've been away for a couple of days, or spend a bit of time with the family. There's difference in it. So it makes all for a better atmosphere in the dressing room, out on the training pitch, and you hope that it benefits in the coming games.
When you said that, then all I could think about was back in your day, the players thinking, God, thank God we have to listen to Tomo for the next 3 days when he was a coach.
No, it's a fair point, and I knew that. You know it as a coach. I'm moaning. Gerrard was nice and calm. But I'm moaning, demanding and demand.
I can't imagine
That's
that.
not-
Can't even bring the bad cop.
But it was
good cop,
it
bad
was,
cop.
But you understand that, and for them to get away from that moaning, from that repetitive thing, is a blessing. I knew that. Somebody had to do it.
The manager might need a break as well. You know, for everything that's been going on, and you know the media attention that he's had with the games that they've been losing and one thing and another. He might need a couple of days just to get away from it, just relax himself, maybe get a bit of sunshine somewhere, and then come back and he's ready to go again for the upcoming
Yeah,
fixtures.
but not to Ibiza anymore.
No.
Oh my God!
It's out of
They
season.
bring that back up.
But in terms of, do you think he will look at trying anything different through these gaps? Because obviously he's been sort of tweaking the lineup and the system on the go, on the hoof at times in the last few weeks. Do you think he'll look at anything, you know, in terms of how we use the ball, how much we have the ball? You know, we've only had less than 50% of the ball once this season in the Premier League.
Look, all he's been doing is every 3 days another game. That's all he in his head. All he's doing is prep work for the next game, prep work for the next game. Whereas when you've got a completely free week, as Phil said, he might say to the players, have a couple of days off with your family. You know, you've earned it at the moment. He might need a couple of days with his family just to get away from the club, from the players, and stop thinking about every game that's coming up. Because that's all he's been doing at the moment. He needs a bit of a breather, as do the players, and then they can come back ready for the next match that they're going to be playing.
It can be hard work being on that football hamster wheel that goes round and round and round and round. OK, let's give you a quick reminder of the team that Arne has picked for today's clash here at Anfield against Brighton and Hove Albion. A couple of changes from the game in midweek. They line up with Alisson Beckett in goal, back four of Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Ibu Konate and Milos Kerkez. Looks like it might be a midfield diamond of Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones and Alexis McAllister, with Florian Wirtz operating just off Hugo Ekitike. OK, that's Liverpool's side for today. What about the visitors, Brighton? Let's get the details on their team from Pete.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Brighton have been notoriously a tough nut to crack for Liverpool. Only lost 3 in the last 10. They go for back-to-back wins over Liverpool for the first time in their history. And on the back of a decent week as well, Kaoru Mitoma and James Milner back in training again, and both on their substitutes bench here this afternoon. There's been a slight rearrangement to their front line. Potentially good news for Liverpool that Danny Welbeck isn't involved. He's got such a good record against the Reds, and it probably means that Jorginho Ruta is the man that carries the goal burden for them up top. Let's confirm the 11 for you then in full. So Verbruggen in goal, who's kept a clean sheet in each of Brighton's last 2 games away from home. He's not kept 3 in a row in 5 years. And then the back four of Mats Wiefer, Lewis Dunk, who's playing his 15th game against Liverpool today. Only Virgil van Dijk has made more passes than him in the Premier League this season. And then Jean-Paul Van Hecke, he's where their play often starts off, a real eye for a pass. He's made 217 line-breaking passes, which is more than any other player in the Premier League this season. Jack Hinchelwood is one of the changes. He comes in by the looks of things on the left side. And then that familiarity around the 2 holding midfield players in Carlos Baleba, who was so heavily linked with Manchester United during the summer, and Diego Gomez, and then it's Jankuba Minte, Kadioglu, and then Brahan Gruda, who joins almost that 3 in support of Jorginho Ruta, who, like I say, looks the most likely in the 9 there today. What a day to welcome back James Milner as well. Had he not missed the 6 games prior to this with injury, he'd have probably got the record here of Premier League appearances today. He's 8 away at the moment from 653. Would take him level, of course, with Gareth Barry. 332 games he played for Liverpool, won the lot before leaving in 2023. And perhaps the most impressive of all of the stats around him, 24 successive seasons he's played in Premier League football. Mitoma, who is back involved again, potentially today since September. Liverpool have never won when he scored or assisted in a game against them. And then Danny Welbeck, so often the Midas touch against Liverpool. 2 goals, 2 assists in his last 6 against the Reds. Shared the goals around the pitch, though, this season, Brighton, which will be an encouragement. 17 different goal scorers, but he's the Premier League's highest scoring Englishman at the moment with 7 so far. Still, of course, with big hopes where the World Cup is concerned as well. Now, you know, Liverpool tend to have a really good December. Of all the stats that have come out today that are most impressive, Fabian Hurtler never won a Premier League game, in the lead up to Christmas. So let's hope that is another trend that continues at the end of play here today at Anfield.
Yeah, bar humbug to Hertzler. Let's so we can ruin his Christmas. We'll be back with Pete later on as he brings us post-match interviews over in the tunnel. Up in the main stand today for us is Steve Hunter. He'll be delivering live audio commentary as ever, and we can join him now. Steve.
Thank you so much, Mark. Yes, the legend is back today, Aldo. He's entertaining fans before the kick-off. Hopefully he doesn't have too many sherbets, if you know what I mean. But we've got to make this place a fortress again, haven't we? You know, Anfield has been a pivotal part of what we've done as a football club over the years. We really need to get back to winning ways in the Premier League, don't we? And when you're talking about facing Brighton and Hove Albion today, just over a year ago, was, for me, I have to say, personally, a pivotal moment in us winning the league. We went top against Brighton and we stayed there. And it wasn't easy. It never is against the Seagulls. Fabian Hertzler's side played really well here. They took an early lead through Ferdi Kadioglu, the Turkish international who plays for this one today. And I remember Brighton having a lot of opportunities in that first half. Then Ibu Konate went off injured at half-time and Joe Gomez come on. He was absolutely magnificent, Joe Gomez. He really was, and it's quite daft he's playing today with Conor Bradley serving a one-game ban. Cody Gakpo there with the equaliser for Liverpool, and then at the top end, as he's done on so many occasions, Mohamed Salah with a magnificent winner for Liverpool there. It was a big win for us. It really was, wasn't it? But hopefully the Reds can do the business today. But if you need goals, well, all you need is rush. On this day, folks, back in 1980, a certain man that Phil Thompson and Ray Houghton know pretty well made his Liverpool debut. Ian Rush, Portman Road, Ipswich. It finished 1-1. Now, it's a great quiz question, this, because he didn't wear his famous number 9. His future strike partner to be, Kenny Dalglish, was injured. David Johnson wore 9. Rushy wore 7. And the rest is history. What a player. What a player. Wish we could have him out here today, eh? But hopefully Ekatike can do the business. Liverpool, Brighton, let's make this place a fortress again, folks. Back down pitch side to the man for all seasons, Mr. Mark Benstead.
Thank you, Steve. Steve said at the top of that he hopes that Aldo's not had too many sherbet. To be fair, I'd quite like to hear a half-cut Aldo on commentary. We'll liven things up and keep Steve on his toes. Thank you to Steve, and not too long to him and Aldo are back with commentary, and it's free to listen to on the official club website. But if you want to continue listening to Tomo and Ray down pitch side on our build-up to kick-off, you do have to be an LFC TV or All Red subscriber. For those of you currently watching us on social media, you aren't yet signed up, you'll find the details of how to do so online at liverpoolfc.com/watch. Still to come on Matchday Live, we'll bring you interviews with both of Liverpool's left-backs in the next half an hour. And as mentioned, commentary is with you at 3. Following the game, Tomo, Ray and myself will be back down pitch side to analyse all of the action as well. And that post-match show will also be available to listen to later on as an official LFC podcast. And if you want to relive all of the match action, then LFC TV has the game in full from 6 tomorrow. And at 6 on Monday evening, Neil Mellor is back with a deep dive into all of the game against Brighton in The Review Show.